Welcome to another episode of Supernatural Stories. For today, the story is the compilations of our best ghost stories. So this is the 40th episode, and today we are gonna compile all the ghost stories from the Pocong, from Kazami, from Commando Fox, from the security guard, to the Kampung Wak Hassan, to the New York hotel for this episode 40 in this one long hour video. Or maybe 30 minutes, I'm not sure. I haven't edited this yet. I'm recording it, okay? So, let's start and enjoy the compilation. And today, we have a story from Kazami56 from the comment section below. Thanks Kazami for another ghost story. I think it's the second or third story you shared with us. And keep the stories coming. So, the story starts here. I used to go dating with my ex-girlfriend around the Punggol area. The plan was to spend time with her as the place was relaxing and the day was supposed to be a romantic stroll. But it turns out to be an unforgettable encounter. So that day, we took a stroll around the area, talking and laughing, just spending time with each other, when suddenly I noticed a smell, a floral smell to be exact, around us. I voiced out to my girlfriend about the smell, as it was weird. Suddenly, the smell got stronger, and my ex-girlfriend started to notice the smell. As she noticed the smell, she dragged me away in a hurry to the nearby blocks. When at that block, she told me that floral smell is an indication of a female ghost. At that moment, after knowing it, I have chills down my spine, and we headed off. Luckily, I did not encounter the female ghost, but this ghostly encounter will always send chills down my spine if I try to recall it. So, that's the scary encounter from Kazami56. This story is from Commando Fox from the comment section below, and it stars his uncle who have a paranormal encounter would like to share with us. So, the story starts here. My uncle was primary 6 when this happened. He was on his way to his friend's place to hang out. The journey to his friend's place was not far, and soon he reached the block. When he reached his block, he walked past the void decks and saw a mailman putting parcels and mails in the mailbox. At that moment, while walking past the mailman and looking clearly at him, he realized he saw something that sent shivers down his spine. What he saw behind the mailman was an old man floating. Its legs was not touching the floor. After seeing that, he panicked and ran to the lift lobby with his body full of goosebumps. When he arrived at the lift lobby, his friends asked him, "Bro, why your lips so pale?" And he replied, "Bro, please lah, don't talk to me lah. I just saw something." After that, they headed off to hang out together. Later, throughout the day, his friend said to him that in 2005, his neighbor from 11th floor committed suicide and apparitions of the old man is seen regularly. Till this day, that block is still haunted by his spirit. And that was the story from Commander Fox. Today we have a story from Raihan, and he works as a security guard at Ubi. So this is his story. I work full-time at my job as a security guard in Ubi, taking care of this industrial building. There is a lot of rumors of people hanging themselves in the office or sightings at night. Seeing Pontianak in the corridor is quite usual, but for me, I do not believe in it until this one night. So I was patrolling with one of my partner. We were working the night shift at this industrial building. When I looked at the wristwatch, it's already 12 midnight, and we have to patrol to see if there's anyone else left in the building. So, walking to our clocking point, we suddenly heard sounds of people walking at the corridor. So we went to the direction of the sound just to walk towards a dead end. So, finding it weird, we split up and checked the offices. Suddenly, my partner told me he wanted to go to the toilet, so I said okay, and he went off. As he was in the toilet, I continued searching for the sound, but after a few minutes of searching, I found there was no one left in the building, as it was all empty and dark. Soon after, I heard my partner on my walkie-talkie saying he's in the control room. I headed back down to the control room and saw my friend sitting there. Sorry, my neck hurts. As I talked to him, I asked him, "Why you leave me upstairs in the dark?" Then I told him, "Next time, communicate better." Then I faced my backwards towards my bag to take out my food to eat. As I turned my back to face at him, he disappeared suddenly. At that moment, I heard my partner on the walkie-talkie calling me, asking for my location and if I heard loud stomping noise on the level. Before I could reply to him, suddenly he shouted on the walkie-talkie, saying, "Help! Help! Ah! Ah! Help! Oi! Rehan!" I panicked as I think, who was there in the room with me sitting on the chair, and why is my partner still in the building patrolling? The thing that made me confused is who was that on the radio at the start telling me to come back to the control room. Suddenly, I saw my partner running out of the building, screaming and breathing hard. When he reached the control room, I asked him what happened. He sat down on the chair and told me he was in the toilet peeing, and while peeing, he heard footsteps outside the toilet, walking loudly. Thinking it was me, he shouted for my name. And when no one answered, he went out of the toilet and looked at the corridor, thinking I would be there. Then he turned into the toilet again to wash his hands. Suddenly, he saw a big black shadow in the toilet near the cubicles. He took a step back, and while walking backwards from the toilet, the dark shadow became bigger and bigger And when he turned to look at the corridor, what he saw was a lady in white standing in the corridor facing him. He froze. After a few seconds, he ran as fast as he could and shouted. And while running, he looked back and saw the lady in white, the Pontianak, following him and laughing at him. He then asked me, why am I in the security office? I told him, you asked me to come back here to the office. And when I went out of the office into the control room, I saw you sitting in the office. Confused, we all just waited for our shift to end in 8 hours. And when we do clocking, we brought our lights and stick as close as possible. Thank you. And this is my story. So that is an amazing story from Raihan. Thanks Raihan for the story. And for today, we have a story from Irfan. The story he's gonna share with you guys is from his dad 10 years ago. So the story starts here. So my dad has this one best friend. His best friend name is Heikel. So guys, let's just call him Heikel, okay? So Heikel was married and his wife was pregnant with their first child. Suddenly one morning, I was at home with my dad and his phone rang. And when he picked up, it was Heikel on the line. Heikel was asking my dad to send him and his wife to the hospital as his wife is in labor. So my dad, being a good friend, quickly get his car keys and headed out. He drove quickly to his friend's house, which is just 2 blocks away, and sent them to the hospital. Throughout the whole process, my dad was there waiting for his friend and his wife to give birth. After delivering the baby and seeing the baby, the hospital gave the placenta to Heikel. As it was his first child my dad friends got, he asked my dad what to do with it as he was not sure. So my dad, being a good friend, told his friend that he have all the items ready for him in his house in Sembawang. His friend said, okay, can we bury it or not tonight? My dad said yes, as the time was only 5 p.m. So they rushed home, taking the placenta with them, washing it, and by the time they finished washing it, it was already 6:30 p.m. So the place to bury the placenta was a wooded place near Sembawang called Kampung Wak Hassan. My dad advised his friend to bury it tomorrow morning, but his friend Heikel said it's better to get the thing over with. So they both headed to Kampung Wak Hassan. When over there and the car parked, they both went out of the car to dig a hole in the dirt. At that time, it was already dark and the time was 7:15 p.m. While digging, my dad felt goosebumps all around his body and saw something flying around in the sky. While his friend was standing behind my dad, he kept saying, faster, faster, faster. Then suddenly, my dad heard a weird noise sounding like something out of the horror movie. Suddenly, when my dad turned, what he saw on the tree was a flying head known as the PENANGGAL. Scared, my dad faster rushed digging the hole. And his friend passed him the placenta to put it into the dirt. When they covered the hole as fast as they can, patting it fast, my dad heard rustling noise coming from the bushes and sounds of growling. He quickly read prayers and asked his friend to get into the car fast. Afterwards, while in the car and reversing, my dad saw the flying head floating towards the placenta, digging the to just eat it. Afterwards, when he reached home, his face was pale, and the next day he told his friend what he saw, and the friend said he was also shocked because he heard weird noises while digging. After that day, my dad had a phobia of visiting that place, as it reminds him of the experience he had bearing his friend, wife, baby placenta. So thanks for watching the videos. It is very scary, am I right? All the stories from all of you guys, from Kazami to Commander Fox to all the different people who send ghost stories to our channel via DM, via email, via all the multiple sources we have. So thanks for supporting this channel. And if you have more ghost stories, sorry, very itchy, be sure to share with us in the comment section below via the email, via DM, or anything which you can send us the story. Okay. Thank you for watching, and like this video if you like it, share with your friends, listen to it while you drive because it's a long compilation, and good night.